So for this project, I'm starting with a 10 by 6 inch mold that I had picked up on Amazon. And the first place I actually saw it was on our Facebook page, Crazy Glass Lady Facebook page. On the Facebook page, Lynette had posted a picture of the mold and said, what am I supposed to do with this? So I looked it up on Amazon, and there was a kind of a tiny video that showed a fast forward finishing of this mold, and I thought, whoa, she must not have watched it. I said, well, maybe I'll try it because I thought it looked like it might turn out really pretty. So anyway, I mixed up about 1 ounce of the DICTION 4-hour cure resin, and I put some black mica powder and some silver mica powder in with it and mixed that in well, and then I took a pipette and I put it in all the little crevices that you see there. One of the tips I want to give you is this is a fast cure resin, so it thickens up quite quick. You're best off using a slower curing resin and a thinner resin so that it flows better into the little crevices. Also, if you notice, I'm using the pipettes, and because it's so thick, it's taking a long time to fill the pipettes. I actually squeeze the bulb with the pipette, set it in there, grab one of the other ones that's already full, and alternate pipettes. So when you look in this, remember how dark that resin is that I'm putting in the crevices now, because at the very end, it's almost transparent. I can't really see it, so I'm not sure exactly what happened. I did spray some alcohol, 99% alcohol on top of it. I have totally stopped using the kitchen torch with molds because I have ruined too many molds. You really can't use heat with these molds. You're better off spraying it before and after with the 99% isopropyl alcohol. And then I took a few minutes to clean everything up after it was in the crevices, and then I let it set overnight to cure. Even though it was a 4-hour demold, I let it set overnight to cure. Then the next day I came back with 4 ounces of resin and poured it in and filled up the entire mold. And again, I did not use any heat on it. I just spritzed it with the 99% isopropyl alcohol. And the next morning I demolded it, and it looks cool already just like that. So this next part of the video is actually an hour and a half that I have condensed down to 2 minutes, if you can believe it. It was very tedious, but well worth it because I think it turned out so pretty. So this next part is actually done with UV resin. It's UV resin mixed with different mica powders. And if anyone's looking for a beautiful red, this red is so shimmery and bright red. It's just beautiful. I cannot pronounce it, but I will link it in the description if anyone's interested. I did get this on Amazon, and I got another container of it recently, so I know they still have it. It's real pretty. I believe it's an eye candy mica powder. And so because this is UV resin, of course you have to use the UV light. You cannot make the UV resin totally opaque, or it cannot penetrate it. You have to hit it from the top as well as the bottom. Another tip with UV resins, there's high viscosity and lower viscosity resin. So with this and the colorant, I think it's in your best interest to use a lower viscosity, a thinner resin. It will allow it to flow more into those crevices. So I did the leaves, the rose, I did the borders of it with the orange and then a yellow, and I used this little pipette. That was the easiest way for me to get in all the little crevices, and like I said, it was really a pretty tedious job, but I think it turned out so pretty. And then the bird, I did a couple of different colors of blue. And then this next part, next time I will do different. So when it was flipped over the other way and I filled it with clear resin, I should have filled it with this white sparkly resin that I am now filling it with. So see this, this is another eye candy mica powder that is super pretty, this white. But what I should have done, instead of filling it on the top, I should have done it from the bottom. I should have just filled the whole back of it with that color and then put the reds and the greens and the blues on top of that. So anyway, so this part is finished. But what really sets it apart is the glass. So I was really happy with myself because a lot of times I'll have a tiny bit of glass left in different colors that, it's just such a small amount that I should toss it, but I don't. I've kept it in little tiny containers. The glass that I'm using for this is actually Ashland Decorative Filler. It's a reflective silver crushed glass that you get up at Michael's that has been colored with different color spray paints, and it's either the TAMIYA spray paints or the Krylon spray paints that I use. None of these were colored with alcohol inks. I do not use the alcohol inks at all. If you use the translucent spray paints or the Bombay Indian inks to color this glass, or some of the other spray paints very lightly, you will not cover up the reflective silver quality of this crushed glass from Michael's. It will dye it that color, but the reflective quality will still be there. I have a video out about coloring glass with the Bombay Indian ink, and also problems that can happen with the alcohol ink, and several other videos out on spray paint and how you can color glass with that. As you can see, I'm putting the different colored glass down, moving it into a position on top of the leaves at this point, and then I'm taking my UV resin and putting it, this is clear UV resin, putting it on top of the glass on the leaves, and then putting the UV light on. I think it's in your best interest to use a high viscosity UV resin for this portion when you're putting it over the glass, then it won't run off and go into other areas. So I had actually run out of my high viscosity during the middle of this video, so I ended up using a thinner resin, and it did run around a little bit too much, so it's better, you're better off using a high viscosity resin to put on top of the glass. So the sparkly glass, I think, is what really makes it look so pretty. And I filled in all the areas, the greens, the reds, the blues, with the different colored glass, put UV resin on top, and then of course use the UV light on top of that. And again, sorry I'm going so fast through this, but I just thought it was it took too long to watch. This was hours, several hours of footage of me doing this. Again, I would put the little colored glass on top of the different areas, put a little bit of the clear UV resin over it, then put the UV light on it and move to the next area. Hey everyone. So Lynette from my Facebook page posted a picture of this mold here and said, what do I do with it? So this is what you do with it. I mean, you could do it many different ways, but that's the way I did it. There was a little video on the Amazon site where I purchased this that kind of showed you real fast, not in detail like I did, what to do. But now, do you see how the lines have disappeared? They're so light now you can hardly see them. So if you guys are going to do this mold, do it a black or something really dark. I thought what I used was dark. So, look up here and you'll see how it looked when I poured it in, and you really don't see it anymore. I thought that was kind of weird. But look at that glass on there, how it sparkles. Isn't that pretty? And I put a little black piece of glass on the bird's beak. But I just think the glass is what really makes it, I think. But yeah, so my suggestion would be to put a little darker color in the crevices there. And it's possible to do this white here, flood the back of it with the white instead of using the clear, and then you won't have to put it in the crevices there, and you can just put the red. Now I'm looking at this red from the back, and I think that is fairly opaque. And with UV resin, you're really not supposed to use anything opaque, but it is on there so thin, and you could hit it from both sides, that it was thin enough that you could make it that dark. But anyway, I think it turned out really cool. It was something different. I'd never done anything like that before. It kind of reminded me at first of one of those like little kids sun catchers that you would hang in the window, and how they give you the paint to put in the things, but the glass on it, I think, is really what makes the whole thing. And this would set up in a little stand on your countertop, so it's really pretty. I like it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was a fairly quick one, but it took me a long time. It was really, really tedious. But, you know, I sped through it for you guys so that I wouldn't torture you. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoyed the channel, go ahead and subscribe. We have the Facebook page going, and that's where, again, that's where I found this. Lynette had posted a picture of the mold. And great group of people displaying beautiful artwork. Everybody is so helpful. I'm learning a lot. No question is too silly. Everybody tries to answer. Everybody's so helpful. Come join us there. And I hope you guys all have a great day. Thanks for watching.